and no conversation at all about reparations if you're talking about the black community.
Mr. Fire Alarm strikes again. Jamal Bowman, Congressman, D, New York. The guy who pulled the fire alarm definitely intentionally 100% to stop a congressional proceeding, which I think by definition is an insurrection. The insurrectionist congressman who pulled the fire alarm and then claimed, well, I had no idea what was doing. And then we all saw the video after he reached an agreement with the DC police of him clearly looking at the door, not being able to get out of the door because it was locked, and then pulling the fire alarm because he's an unhinged lunatic. Is at it again. He's on MSNBC. Honestly, at this point, just be flat out racist, which is fascinating. I'm just going to play this clip. I'm going to play the clip, and then we'll talk about the horrific racism perpetrated by one Congressman Fire Alarm on MSNBC.
People of color have been turned off for a while because of lack of comprehensive immigration reform if you're talking about the Latino community, and no conversation at all about reparations if you're talking about the black community. But we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars every year on weapons and war, but we can't even have a conversation about reparations?
I think the funny part of here, it's funny and terrible at the same time. It's funny because of just the disconnectedness. The terrible part is the utter and total blatant racism. As if Latino voters, and he should have said Latinx if he's being politically correct, the fact that Latino voters or Hispanic voters only care about, that is their number one priority, that they care about getting into the country and being able to immigrate here, which if you talk to any Hispanic voters who are aware of what's going on, the overwhelming majority of them, and I'm pretty sure polling shows this, would tell you that, yeah, we want a wall as just as much as everybody else. A lot of Hispanic and Latino voters are like, yeah, the illegal immigration is out of control. So then Jamal Bowman to go and say that, well, this group of people solely cares about being able to come into the country and allowing that from a governmental standpoint is racist. That's you're categorizing an entire group of people who don't believe what you believe, they believe, and projecting a thought onto them that they don't have. That's racism, dude. But again, can we expect much from Congressman Fire Alarm? And then to also say, we can't even have a conversation about reparations. The problem with that, dude, is that people have been having that conversation a lot. And the conclusion of that conversation and debate is that it would be a bad idea. It wouldn't work. And how are you going to actually pull it off? I want to talk about government giving things to minorities as a whole, but black people specifically. The more the government tries to help, again, specific group, black people in general, if you look at the statistics of it, the more the government tries to help, the worse off that community is. There's a great book called Please Stop Helping Us. Jason Riley has a great book called Please Stop Helping Us. And it's basically how every time super liberal and we just want to help everyone group tries to help the black community, it just makes it worse. So all of that, to circle back, is to say that we can't even have a conversation about reparations. No, yeah, the conversation has been had. And the conclusion to that conversation over and over and over and over again is that it's unworkable, it's undoable, it wouldn't help, and it's overall a bad idea. There's got to be a term for that. We got to, maybe we together can, maybe we won't do it today, but we got to coin a term for bringing up settled arguments over and over and over again. He basically effectively just said, we're not even willing to have a conversation of whether or not you should touch the hot stove. Yeah, because everybody knows why you can't touch the hot stove. Everybody knows the reparations conversation. It's been had. We've settled it as a society. So you're sitting there saying, what is that? Maybe if you can help me out in the comment section, what coined term would we use for that? Somebody who's just bringing up an argument constantly over and over and over again because they're trying to score points. I think he's trying to make people forget about the fire alarm situation.